Grant.
Here.
Iverson.
Here.
Hutton. Poppy. Denker.
Here.
Foskett John. Split.
Here.
Very good. Have a quorum.
Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from February 21st meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 21st meeting.
I'll second. Thank you.
Any discussion?
This is take out the
None. All those in favor of approving the minutes from the February 21st meeting say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They're approved. All right. First item is CSM for an extraterritorial CSM for Betke at N7371 Radio Road.
There's a couple extra copies here too if you want a bigger version. Dennis is here as well.
Can we just find out why?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we have the reason why that, they're doing this?
Oh, the bad case?
Yes.
Well, so his father and mother can have a separate tax deed. They live in that house there, and he owns, the son owns the rest of the land, and is farming it. Otherwise,
You're just splitting it up.
Okay, so the house was
was part of
with
the
all
farm. Yeah.
the farmland. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And no issue with the township on the survey?
It's on the agenda for the township. Yeah.
Okay. So we get it
I've talked
first?
to them several times already about it.
Okay.
And they're okay with it the way it is now.
All right.
Yeah. We had one change on it already. No, it's good.
And if for some reason they deny it, it would come back to us for review again?
Yeah, but it's not gonna be,
Yeah.
no problem, no.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the survey map for, where is my, N7371 Radio Road.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the extraterritorial CSM for N7371 Radio Road, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And those are, being the same original. Here it is. Got a date there? 20th?
There you are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis.
Adam, thank you.
All right.
Okay, I should have that.
Next is a public hearing for issuing a conditional use permit for Han Logistics LLC on Hall Street. The time is now 7:04. I will call a public hearing portion of the meeting open. Dennis or Dave?
Yes,
Dave,
yes.
would you like to just go over once again what your project is?
I've been through trailer storage, cold storage building to have a sustaining business in the city of Ripon. Plain simple.
And this time you're bringing a similar plan but adding the storage
The building.
building.
Just, I guess,
Okay.
to go with zoning, whatever requires it, which
Do you guys have the drawings in your packet? Or?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
So I'm just adding the building, staying within the same 20,000 square feet.
All right.
So,
Does anyone have any questions for David before we open up to public comment?
And we also added additional landscaping along the west side, along with some evergreen trees up front and a few deciduous trees at front of the building as well. And we are swapping out the gravel as previously proposed for recycled asphalt. It was part of the discussion a few months ago, so.
Okay.
I'll just make a comment. I do like the tree, the landscaping plan with the mixture. You know, you got some larger trees you're planning to put them next to the building. I think that'll look really nice.
as long as deer don't eat it.
Yeah, that's always a risk out there, right?
It's not particularly germane, but I was just wondering what the building is for in the business.
Just storage, tires,
Okay.
parts, excess, stuff that's currently being stored outside.
Okay.
As long as they're gonna put up a building, might as well put something in it.
Might as well put something in it, I agree. I have nothing further, thank you.
Is anyone from the public here to speak on this topic?
Well, I'm Christy Martin from Divine Passage Funeral Home, and Dave and Debbie have been wonderful neighbors since they've taken the land over, and I'm in support of what it takes to have their business continue. I do know that, you know, there is township and city difference. I am in the city, and I'm just here to support them.
Me too. I'm neighbor up the street a little bit. They have been wonderful neighbors. Glad to have them in there and willing to support their business.
Okay. That's all the public that we have. So, in that case, we'll close the public hearing. We can still direct questions to you if you have questions. So closing the public hearing at 7:08. And I believe City Attorney Wertz has sent a letter for us to consider.
Yeah, so just a copy, I'll just read it quick. It just says, Lud couldn't be here, but he just said, as City Attorney, I've reviewed the revised conditional use application for Han Logistics LLC. I also reviewed the attached proposed survey and the building plans. Based upon the supporting documentation, it is my opinion that the Plan Commission could favorably recommend the conditional use permit based on a principal use having been established for the property with the construction of a proposed building. If the Commission makes a favorable recommendation, it should include in that motion that all trailers shall be properly marked or properly parked on the proposed upgraded surface as provided in the survey attached to the application. So this is a conditional use permit application for the use of this property as trailer and other interior storage or adding a storage building. The Plan Commission may impose conditions upon the use that if are somehow violated or are not met, that the use can be pulled and the property cannot be used under the permitted use. Dave, Jason, myself, Public Works Director, and City Engineer all met about a month ago and talked through the plans that have been submitted. The main highlights from that discussion revolved around primarily the establishment of a principal use in the proposed building. You have that answer from the city attorney. So there is a principal use being established at the property in an industrial district. So this conditional use is as applied for activities that support an industrial or commercial use, but ultimately there is a principal use of storage being established at the property. In terms of previous concerns or considerations, we will start with stormwater management. So the requirement of the ordinance is 20,000 square feet or more would trigger automatic stormwater management. The impervious surface or the disruption of this project is under the 20,000 square feet, so would not trigger comprehensive stormwater management. Okay? Floodplain. This area has floodplain on it, but the proposed activities and use, being it a parking lot or a parking area, the floodplain zoning ordinance allows for those level of activities to not require hydrologic or other studying, right? It is a allowable disruption because it's basically at the same level and not really a concern. So floodplain zoning would not be triggered because, as you see on the map here, it is this line, I believe, right here. And everything in terms of that's within the floodplain is an allowable or doesn't require further consideration. In terms of landscaping, we met and talked to the landscaping, and we did recommend some additional landscaping because we've seen that come up an issue. So in their plan here, they have trees all along here, as well as I think up here, if this is the right plan. I don't know if this is the landscaping plan, but.
Yep, that's correct.
So there's the addition of trees up here and all along here. So they have met all the criteria for landscaping.
I do have a question about that plan. The line is south down, I assume. Yeah, south would be down. The line that goes on the south end of the parking area and the east edge of the parking area with squares, is that a fence or is that something else being notated?
That's just silt fence.
Silt
It'll be
fence,
up
okay.
during construction, yeah.
Okay,
And then
very
that'll
good.
be taken down once everything's stabilized.
Okay.
Yep.
I just didn't see any notes as to what that was. That's all I had.
So then, when you look at the plan, the only other things that we would note are the surface in which the trailers will be parked on is going to be recycled asphalt. That is allowed with Plan Commission approval. Otherwise, industrial districts do require that parking areas and driveways be either concrete or asphalt. We did have a review of that and some questions regarding the apron and this kind of area in driveway and apron area. There is in this plan a request to use recycled asphalt for that. That contradicts the requirements in the ordinance to have either concrete or asphalt. The recommendation would be asphalt because there is no curb and gutter on this stretch, and from a construction standpoint and plows and etc., it'd be better to have asphalt. So there is a requirement to have asphalt there, and a recommendation that that area as a apron and driveway be a hard surface.
Now, are we considering the driveway portion to be up to that dotted line with the north edge of the building? And the rest is parking?
That's up to, I think a driveway is to access a parking area, and where the parking area begins and ends, I think you can reasonably say is around that area.
Okay.
So, the other consideration there is just the general movement of trailers on and off of the parking area, and having a pad where any debris or whatnot doesn't just go immediately onto the road if there was more of a crushed aggregate or crushed asphalt on the driveway and apron. And then ultimately, we had conversations as well about the use at the meeting. Previous applications have discussed number of trailers there. Previous discussions have talked about how that could vary. And we had I believe, a very good understanding after that meeting that the trailers would be confined or parked on this parking area and only that. Yes.
To that note, the ordinance states that the parking surface must be the impermeable surface, right? So any future trailer parking outside of it would just be in violation of the already existing ordinance of not parking on the soft surfaces. Is
You
that
are correct. And as the city attorney recommends, a condition of the use would be to keep all parking on that, because the moment you move off of that, you're in violation of that ordinance, as well as you begin using the property above the 20,000 square foot, on and on and on. We had a long conversation about that at the meeting, and I think there was a good understanding, and Mr. Hahn had committed, yes, that area would be where there would be parking only. So he can speak to that too, but that's generally a recommendation. So the two recommendations you can see it are the condition of parking on the area that has been constructed for parking, and then the issue with the driveway and apron being a more solid surface than recycled asphalt. Other than that, there are no other concerns.
So if someone were to bring a motion forward with the condition of the recommendations, then we could approve that and the plan would be amended to those, or maybe specifically to a concrete or asphalt portion of the driveway. The plan would be amended and then it would be approved according to that motion.
Yeah, I would just go to Sue and get reviewed and just have to be done that way.
Okay. I'd like to just make a note to the members here. To me, it feels like I understand where the city attorney is coming from with his recommendation of having the conditional use speak about the use of the property, but I also tend to believe that there is already an ordinance in place that specifies where and how vehicles or trailers or items can be parked, and it does clearly say that it needs to be on the impermeable surface. So just as a public note, my feeling is if the ordinance is already there, it seems to be maybe gilding the lily or imposition on imposition to then say, well, we know that we have an ordinance, we know that we have a legal requirement for you to use or to follow, but we're just gonna really make sure that you have to follow it within the conditional use permit. I'm not saying that one way or the other, that's my opinion of it, and I wanted to let that be known to everyone here.
Anyone have any questions for Adam or the applicants?
May I speak?
Go, please do.
I think you're under the wrong impression as to what this land's gonna be used for. It's 5.7 acres. You are limiting me to under half an acre. That's 5 acres of my land, all downhill, for water runoff, retention. They live there, he lives there. There is water. The culvert's never seen a drop of water go out. There's 0 trailers out there. You're singling me out, calling me a criminal, basically, for no reason. I should not have special things when there's 0 trailers there right now. There were 70 of them at the last one. So you tell me who's gonna park off the grass. You need to look big at the rest of your city. If I do something wrong, come and get me. But don't make me out to be a criminal here. I'm trying to do something good. I went from a dirt field that I parked in over 2 years, okay? And now, when I asked to put gravel to do the betterment, I've mowed it. It's religiously mowed. It went from a thistle patch to perfectly mowed. So, I'm only trying to do, there's 0 trailers out there. I don't need a cement apron to prevent the gravel from moving because this is a long-term storage for my overflow. It's not a daily use. I have a parking lot for that. It's storage of excess equipment when it's necessary. Doesn't mean it's gonna be full. Again, there's 0 trailers over there right now. I could have parked them all on the front of the grass of the gas station and I didn't, even though that's in the town. So I'm at my end. I take care of it. I moved trailers a week ago, the final one's out of there. There is not one stitch of gravel or dirt on the road there. So I'm not gonna be traipsing in and out tracking. You get more from a farmer. You get more when Seneca turns the corner there and dumps out half of their carrots on the road. With your drain right there. Your drain isn't even on that side of the road. You have no. So, said my piece. You guys can vote. I don't think I deserve any kind of conditions. So, I think it can be black regrind to the road. I won't traipse it out there. I don't take the dirt out there. Why would I take the gravel? They can vouch. You can drive down there and look. You can ask any of my neighbors. I've went above and beyond to be respectful to the town, the city, which my shop isn't in. I try to be respectful of it all. And that's what I continue to want to be. But I'm getting very frustrated. I've spent 6 months on this for something that could have been simple. Could have been treated decent about it. So if you want to deny it tonight, then we'll just go on to the next step. Said my piece, thank you.
I do agree that if we do have a ordinance that does not allow parking on grass, why do we have to make the special recommendation that all trailers shall be properly parked on the proposed upgraded surface?
There's a difference between an ordinance violation and a violation of your conditional use.
Okay,
So we're allowing this as a conditional use. You can impose conditions upon them, and if they violate that, they then can not only violate the ordinance, but they violate the use, and their use can be revoked.
what are we allowing? The building on that property?
We're
Storage.
allowing the vehicle storage and the building. So it's, if you look at the application, the actual technical request is, from a zoning code perspective, is a business or commercial use that principally serve an industrial use or activity. In an industrial zone, they require a conditional use. So this is for parking of storage, trailers and basically an interior storage building. So it's a storage facility.
And we did that for flash trucking?
No, that was a transload facility with a production facility on the inside. So that, that was an actual production type facility and processing facility.
Okay, I'm just,
And that's zoned differently? Is that
It's industrial.
Industrial zone, okay.
and what is this zone?
Industrial.
But storage requires a conditional use. Production does not.
So in the conditions that these are not just conditions of what you'd be approving, some of the things we're talking about, our ordinance. The plan in front of you doesn't meet the minimum ordinance and they have to. So these things have to happen for it to even get a building permit. So it means adding the conditional use does nothing but allow at some point, if there's a violation, to lose that use, right? And that is, as recommended by the city attorney, something you can do.
The ordinance would be for the concrete or non-recycled asphalt on the apron into the road there.
Yeah, it's asphalt or concrete is what it,
Yeah.
it's up to the applicant.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can, and the planning commission can't just change that.
Right.
That's a set rule, so.
Yeah, that's already in the code, in the,
Is that restricted to just the apron?
It's driveway. So,
Driveway or drive approach?
driveway.
Well,
One last question. His question was for concrete or blacktop in the approach,
Yeah, so the ordinance,
which is the road to the lot line or terrace
that's,
area?
road to lot line is apron.
so in the industrial district, parking lot improvements, parking areas and driveways shall be asphalt or concrete surface. Long-term parking and storage areas may be compacted uniform ground recycle asphalt product if approved by the planning commission.
Okay,
So that is the standard
for the parking lot.
for the parking lot and the driveway.
Okay.
So,
But the approach is blacktop or concrete?
it could be either.
Okay.
You know, the Public Works Department has recommended, based on their engineering standards and guidelines of aprons, they would recommend that be asphalt.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for Han Logistics on Hall Street with the recommendation that trailers shall be properly parked on the proposed upgraded surface, along with the approach being either blacktop or concrete.
to code, to,
Could I make some recommendations for that language?
You certainly can.
Approving the conditional use with the requirement of all parking remain on the parking areas defined by the survey supplied. And the apron and driveway from the road to the north edge of the building be asphalt or concrete.
Straight across from the north edge.
Yes.
so just to clarify, that's
From here to here.
Yes. Do you accept those recommendations for your motion?
No,
No?
I think it's too much asphalt. If that's his lot line, this is the lot line here. I'm thinking it should just be concrete or asphalt there, wherever it is to the road, whatever that distance is, and then this could be the crushed asphalt.
Adam, could I see that?
Because I think it's a gray area of what the driveway is.
Enhance.
Watch out, it's moving. So there's two components of it. People often can say, well, an apron is a driveway, right? The driveway allows you to access the area in which you're parking on private property. The apron is on public property or
Like the
in
terrace to-
yes,
yeah.
the terrace. So the ordinance says driveway.
Okay.
So
So then if you're considering
I see.
this just the driveway to this line here,
Yes, that's what I would,
I would imagine.
That's my
That would be
recommendation.
the interpretation of it.
like I say, it's kind of a gray area. I think it's still too much, but, I'll accept that friendly recommendation then.
would anyone like to second the motion?
So the current motion is from the north edge of the building with the east-west line to the middle of the road, there to there,
To Hall Street, yeah.
to the edge of the existing, yeah.
Yeah.
As asphalt or concrete, and then with the requirement that the stored trailers are on the approved surface.
Can I ask a question?
One moment. Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So if I blacktop that to there, I'm still gonna park there, my property, you know, as long as the trailer's parked decent. Don't approve something that isn't gonna work for me.
Right, so you're asking if
So if you're
you
gonna
black out
force
to that
me,
line.
which I shouldn't have to be forced to go that far, I'm still gonna park on that.
So you're asking, can you park on what we're considering driveway?
Yeah,
I don't see an issue with that, do you?
blacktop,
no, it's not.
No, so you can park anywhere on the improved surface.
add more to it. I've already given on the building, so might as well pay more for the blacktop. Should be black regrind, so let me know what you decide. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the conditional use permit as stipulated, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Opposed? That is approved. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Project updates and staff reports.
Nothing.
Anything for you? Nope. All right. Future agenda items?
Question.
Yep.
I've had some conversations with people downtown, and I don't know if this is the venue either, on the sidewalk cafe versus the beer garden versus the 4-foot high barrels versus the 3-foot high barrels. And I think we need, if this is the proper place to discuss it at Plan Commission, I think we need to look at that.
I think it was that ordinance.
I believe that
It's an
would
ordinance
just
review.
be straight to council, wouldn't it?
Straight to council?
It's going to depend on the section of the ordinance and what oversight the Plan Commission has in approving any and all of those items. I know the Plan Commission has oversight over some of the street cafes, which they extend into the street. And then I would have to just see if you certainly can review and make recommendations. But if they're not in the zoning code realm, it may be a little challenging because that's where you all have the public hearings and you make those. You certainly can, we can put it on the agenda and we can review them all. We can make recommendations for changes to the council, that's fine too. I don't think that is outside of the Plan Commission's purview, but at the end of the day,
Whether it's here at the council, my recommendation is to bring all three of those components into one ordinance
Yeah, and just-
to avoid confusion.
simplify
It
and
is
clarify,
confusing
right?
figuring out what's what.
I mean, it could
Right.
be an ordinance
Who's what?
with separate clauses for each, but put them all in one ordinance.
One ordinance and,
Because the sidewalk cafe's not underneath the zoning.
no,
No, and I don't know if you want it to be.
No.
And that's part of the reason why some of them might be and some of them may not be. So this may be a little bit more difficult than that, but I'll just put it on the agenda and we can review them and have a conversation about it.
I don't expect it to be done in 2 or 3 months.
Because even.
No, I
That'll be
think
for
we
next
should
year.
Even
look,
Chief
I want
Mullen
Adam
was saying
to look
it.
at it.
No, thanks.
Yeah, well,
Adam
And
has
Sue.
nothing to do all day.
No,
The hours.
it is a saying, you search the ordinance for cafe and it's like, which one am I looking for? Is,
Right.
You know, sidewalk.
We need to figure this out a little bit better.
Yeah.
yeah, because, well, obviously it came up with Dave Knuth. You
Yeah.
know, what's this, what's that?
Well, he shouldn't need a street cafe
Yeah,
anymore because
no.
he's got his beer garden.
Right, but he's got his beer garden and
Right,
it goes
which is
from
off the sidewalk.
the
He's gotta
sidewalk
take it up
cafe to the
parking
beer
lot
garden.
Or
and-
parking stall.
But there's
It's gonna be
plenty of
nice.
confusion, and then there's retailers that have stuff out still, and we don't know where to classify them. Because it's
Right.
actually, that's still under the street cafe rules for retail, which doesn't make any sense, so. Yes, we would definitely need to look at all that.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
we've
we all agree.
had many conversations about that over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So that I'm sometimes very confused and I've heard it before.
All right, any other future agenda items? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.